Caitlin Clark's civil rights has sparked a WNBA and NBA probe by the Trump administration.
The WNBA commissioner is officially in the hot seat, and things just got real. New reports say the entire Caitlin Clark civil rights saga has exploded into a full-blown federal investigation. Yeah, you heard that right. This thing just went federal. And here's the crazy part. This isn't even about basketball anymore, that it's turned into a power showdown between politics, influence, and whoever's really pulling the strings behind the league.S. Oh, what do you think? Is this investigation truly about justice for Caitlin Clark, or just pure politics dressed up as fairness? Drop your take below, because this story's got more layers than an onion. That we're talking Caitlin Clark, the WNBA front office, and now, out of nowhere, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice have entered the chat. Yep. This whole thing has officially gone way beyond sports.
Months ago that Trump and his administration was coming. I've been preaching on it. I didn't think it was going to hit the NBA first. I thought it was coming to the W first, simply because of Caitlin Clark, her civil rights being violated, and these damn referees.
According to new reports, a civil rights review has been launched over how Caitlin Clark was treated throughout the entire season, from the wild referee calls to the league's poor response to fan chaos, and what many are calling a hostile environment surrounding her. And guess who's taking all the heat? The commissioner. If you've been following this channel, you know we've covered this saga from day one. First, the league downplayed the rough play. Then they ignored the fans begging for protection, and finally they acted like nothing was wrong, even as clips of Clark getting hard fouled went viral week after week. Now, months later, the Justice Department is looking into it, because apparently, when a league fails to protect its biggest star and lets bias run wild, someone in Washington takes notice. The Wall Street Journal even predicted this months ago, writing that if the league won't protect its superstars from a hostile environment, the government will. And guess what? That line aged perfectly. But here's where it gets wild. Insiders say that this civil rights angle is actually what caught the Trump administration's attention in the first place. They were already digging into sports gambling issues in the NBA when someone brought up Caitlin Clark and how her treatment might fall under a civil rights review. You honestly couldn't write a crazier script if you tried.
Now, Stephen A. Smith has been someone, too, that has been vocal, has been an advocate about this probe happening. Now, I am here to...
Even Stephen A. Smith called this months ago. Back in August, he said straight up, Trump's people are watching the WNBA. And he wasn't guessing. He claimed a U.S. senator was already talking about this behind closed doors. Fast forward to now, and boom, it's not whispers anymore, it's headline news.
You know what world that I live in terms of politics? How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television.
So why is the commissioner getting absolutely roasted right now? Simple leadership failure. While Caitlin Clark was getting hammered on the court, what was the league doing? Posting women empowerment tweets like everything was sunshine and roses. Fans didn't buy it for a second. Even neutral analysts started calling the WNBA anti-Clark. Think about it, she's the biggest draw in league history, yet somehow also its most targeted player. Referees let egregious contact go uncalled, opponents took cheap shots in interviews, and the league? Silent. Completely silent. That's not leadership, that's neglect.
Very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark, the Department of Justice, and quite possibly the President of the United States himself. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. But one thing I will not do is take credit for this. I am looking at the Wall Street Journal. The author of the article is a guy by the name of Sean McLean.
And that's exactly where the civil rights angle comes crashing in. Because under federal law, if a league fails to apply its own rules equally, especially when race and public perception are in play, it can blow up into a massive problem. And now it has. The Trump administration's involvement makes it even messier, because they see Caitlin Clark as America's sweetheart, a symbol of hard work and pure merit.so if they believe she's being mistreated. They're going to push this story hard, Stephen. Hey, even warned months ago, if Trump's base picks up this story, the WNBA is going to regret it. And now that's exactly what's happening. Every network from ESPN to Fox is talking about it. Some say it's long overdue accountability. Others call it political interference. But either way, it's bad news for the commissioner because you simply can't run a major league and look this clueless all at the same time.
Instead of protecting its transformative star, the league's leadership ignores the relentless targeting of Ms. Clark, treating its greatest asset as if she were a PR headache. That approach could turn into a legal liability.
Let's be real. This entire disaster was so easy to prevent. All the WNBA had to do was make sure the refs stayed consistent and that players weren't taking cheap shots or throwing shade online. But instead, they somehow treated Caitlin Clark's massive popularity like a threat, instead of the once-in-a-generation blessing it clearly was. Now the feds are involved, asking tough questions about why league officials ignored complaints from Clark's camp. And that, my friends, is never a good look. The headlines are everywhere. The commissioner is getting torched from all directions: ESPN, Fox, The Blaze, even political podcasts. Some call it a reckoning. Others? Just plain karma. Senators are asking questions. Journalists are digging into old referee reports. And social media? It's gone full detective mode, compiling clips of Clark being elbowed, shoved, and smacked with zero whistles that there's literally a viral montage on X titled "The Hits That Changed the League." Millions of views. Meanwhile, the commissioner is out giving speeches about fostering equality and supporting diversity. Great message. Horrible timing, because people don't want hashtags anymore, they want answers. Fans are absolutely roasting her. .1 viral comment said it best. How do you run a league that lets its most marketable player get bullied on live TV? Another fan added, if this happened to LeBron or Curry, heads would have rolled already. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Even former players are split. Some defend the league, saying it's just part of the game. But others are finally admitting what everyone's been thinking. The refs treated Clark differently, and when insiders start echoing that same claim, that's when it becomes an undeniable problem, because now both the DOJ and the Trump administration are officially interested. And when those two names are mentioned in the same breath as your league, it's beyond serious. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. This never had to happen. The WNBA could have handled this quietly months ago, a few. Suspensions, referee accountability, and a public statement that all players are protected equally. Simple. Instead, they brushed it off as media drama. Now, it's a federal civil rights probe. Reporters are asking if the WNBA violated its own anti-discrimination code. And you can thank pure arrogance for that. The league thought Clark's popularity would fade like a social media trend. They didn't realize she is the trend. They underestimated how much the public truly cared about her. And worse, they treated her success as a threat instead of the golden opportunity. It was .so here we are. The commissioner's office is under internal review for how it handled Clark's complaints about officiating. The Wall Street Journal article about the hostile environment? It's now evidence. Emails and memos are being subpoenaed. Insiders say the league office is panicking. Stephen A. Smith even doubled down this morning, saying this is just the tip of the iceberg. He claims Trump's team has been monitoring the WNBA ever since Caitlin Clark became a political talking point. And honestly, he's probably right, because politics and sports, they always mix when there's this much outrage. The Trump camp knows how popular Clark is. They know her fan base feels ignored, and they're not about to pass up that opportunity. Not a chance in hell. Now, let's talk optics, because it's bad. Monumentally bad. A league that constantly preaches fairness and empowerment is now being accused of the exact opposite: bias, favoritism, and failure to protect the one player who single-handedly boosted ratings. The commissioner's official response: a short, 2-paragraph statement saying they welcome all oversight and support transparency. Translation: they're sweating bullets, because next come subpoenas, testimonies, referees grilled under oath, and coaches questioned about league instructions that it's going to get messy. And when the truth comes out, if even a fraction of these rumors are true, it could completely shatter the progressive image the WNBA has been selling. But you know who comes out on top? Caitlin Clark. When all is said and done, she'll emerge as the symbol of justice, the player who stood up against bias and won. Every major brand will want her. Every sponsor will chase her. Meanwhile, the commissioner might be out of a job. And let's clear this up, civil rights. Isn't some boring legal phrase here that if a player is treated unfairly due to bias, racial, gender-based, or even fan pressure related, that's absolutely grounds for a federal review. The government's not deciding who wins games, they're making sure rules apply equally. And when millions of fans can see with their own eyes that Clark got hammered without calls, that's more than enough to raise red flags. You simply can't preach equality while letting rampant bias slide on live TV. And here's the irony. The same voices who said fans were overreacting months ago are now scrambling to say, "Oh, we totally support the investigation." That's how fast the narrative flips once Washington steps in. And it's only going to get louder with the Trump administration diving into a women's sports controversy. This is about to dominate the news cycle for weeks. Every podcast, every sports show, every political panel talking about one thing. The WNBA and Caitlin Clark. It might just be the biggest spotlight the league has ever had. Too bad it's for all the wrong reasons. And here's the almost comedic twist. The same WNBA that once acted like they didn't need Clark's fame is now begging her to stay positive while the league burns under scrutiny. Now she's their beloved superstar. Please, where was that energy when she was getting clobbered with no whistle? Where was that support when players mocked her media privilege instead of just hooping? Now the league's trying to act like it's her teammate, but it's too late. The damage is done, and it's permanent. Meanwhile, sponsors are watching closely: Nike, Gatorade, and Superstar. State Farm. All the brands tied to the WNBA don't want federal civil rights investigation next to their logos. So yeah, it's bad. Really bad. Except for one person, Caitlin Clark. If Trump himself comments, which Stephen A. says is very possible, this story instantly becomes a full-blown political firestorm. That it's Caitlin Clark versus the system. And we all know which side the public's on now. The same players who mocked her months ago? Dead silent. Suddenly everyone's about unity and fair treatment. You can smell the PR panic from miles away. And don't forget, the NBA is watching too. Because if this probe bleeds into their gambling investigation, there could be a wave of firings faster than you can say federal oversight. Stephen A. summed it up perfectly. This isn't coincidence. It's a warning. The FBI doesn't show up unless it's serious. And they did. So yeah. The commissioner can spin whatever she wants, but the court of public opinion has already ruled. She failed. The fans know it. The media knows it. And now the federal government knows it too. As chaos unfolds, Caitlin Clark's stock just keeps skyrocketing that she's not just a player anymore. She's a symbol. And symbols? They don't lose. So here's where we stand. The commissioner's under fire. The civil rights probe is heating up, and Caitlin Clark just became the most powerful name in women's sports. Whether this ends in massive reform or total collapse, one thing's certain. The truth is coming out. Drop your thoughts below.